after the shooting. They told us the sound of gunfire is nothing new in that community.
You hear gunshots out here all the time, you know. It's nothing new, you know.
Say Tillman was a father, leaving behind 3 daughters. Another neighbor who asked to be anonymous for their safety says they were left on edge after the incident.
I don't even want to walk to the store anymore. I don't even want to come outside. I don't want to sit on my porch, in my drawer, nothing. I don't even want none of that.
BPD also says several items of evidence have also been seized and submitted for further forensic testing. And once the investigation is complete, well, they'll submit their findings to the Jefferson County DA's office to be reviewed by the grand jury. And 3 suspects are behind bars after Beaumont police say they robbed a Family Dollar today. It happened at the 3200 block of Avenue A just before 2 this afternoon. Now, these surveillance photos released by BPD shows the 3 suspects in hoodies. BPD says they robbed a person at gunpoint. 2 of the suspects have guns and have taken money from the victim. BPD says then they took off on foot, but were caught just over an hour after. And a man has been sentenced to 35 years in prison for aggravated sexual assault of a child. Orange County Sheriff Bobby Smith says in a press release to Facebook, justice has been served in one of the most difficult cases their community has faced. According to the Orange County District Attorney's Office, 33-year-old Sterling Williams pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child in the 128th District Court. County officials say the crime took place last year. Williams sexually assaulted an 11-year-old child, and then he took off. A warrant for his arrest was obtained, and he was arrested 2 days later. Again, he's been sentenced to 35 years in prison. And across state lines tonight in Louisiana, 5 people, including a 6-year-old, were injured in a shooting earlier today during a Mardi Gras parade in Clinton East Feliciana Parish. According to our sister station in Baton Rouge, East Feliciana Parish Sheriff Jeff Travis says 3 people are now in custody, but officials have not confirmed if they are the ones that fired the shots. 1 child is critically injured. The shooting happened near the courthouse before the parade reached the main street. Investigators are also looking for a vehicle that may be connected to the incident. Local and state agencies are working to support the victims as they continue the investigation. At this time, no one has died. All right, time now for a check of your weather impact forecast. Here's a live view of our 12 News studios. Meteorologist Carrie Cooper in the Weather Impact Center. Carrie, I know we're expecting some more cold weather this evening. How is the rest of our night going to be looking?
Yeah, one more cold night. We have that hard freeze tonight. We'll drop into the lower 20s coming up by tomorrow morning. So one more cold night, and after about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, that'll be it. We'll be back to some normal weather finally. We got into the mid 40s today for highs. It was chilly with that wind blowing, but those winds will be diminishing tonight, and temperatures will be heading for the lower 20s in the triangle, right around 20, maybe some upper teens in the lakes area. Weather impact alert for tonight into tomorrow morning till around 8 or 9 o'clock. We should be above freezing at that time. That'll be it. Your impact, of course, upper teens to the mid 20s for lows. Of course, temperatures are going to vary in the viewing area, colder in the lakes and not as cold in the triangle, but pretty frigid area wide. And remember your 4 P's: people, pets, pipes, and plants for tonight and tomorrow morning. We should reach the 50s though for highs tomorrow. Right now we're at 38 in Beaumont and Orange, already down to 34 in Jasper. So it won't be long now. The lakes will be below freezing. We'll be below freezing probably after about 8:30 or so, maybe 9 in the triangles. We need to drip that water for one more night. That'll be it. We'll talk about a much warmer forecast for next week coming up.
All right, today was your final chance to apply for BISD's Board of Managers. If you make it past a background check and complete financial aid, conflict of interest disclosures, you will then have to attend a mandatory 2-day governance training from February 21st to the 22nd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Missing any portion of this training will disqualify applicants. Successful candidates must commit approximately 40 hours per month during onboarding and 15 hours per month thereafter. And today, ExxonMobil and MD Anderson Hospital, along with 40 other organizations, partnered together for a new initiative called Be Well Beaumont Day. A spokesperson with ExxonMobil tells us it was first started with a hospital over a decade ago in Baytown. They brought over 80% of residents there, making it a huge success. The event highlights education and interactive activities with the goal of reducing cancer deaths while showing that wellness can be fun. The event was hosted at Lamar University's Rec Center from 10 to 1 today. Phil Methiar, plant manager at ExxonMobil, says Be Well Beaumont Day is set to launch a local 10 million health wellness initiative.
We've built basically like a board. We're starting to bring in different agencies, and now we're actually officially launching it. So it's a program for really the next decade. So we'll have events like this, but there'll be plenty of events throughout the year that will focus on more specific things.
The celebration not only featured resources to embrace healthier living, but also live performances, free food, a distribution fitness, gardening activities, and even a play area for the kiddos. And the Lake Rayburn Fire Department showed off its newest addition today during an open house at Station 2. Residents were able to come out for tours, meet the crew, all while enjoying refreshments and activities for families. The event kicked off from 10 to 1 today. Fire Chief Brett Holloway tells us a second location allows them to be closer to about 600 residents they serve every day. And new tonight, an update on those ICE protests in Minneapolis, demonstrators voicing their opposition to the raids and deportations. ABC's Ika Jachi has the latest with how those events unfolded, plus what Homeland Security is now saying.
At high noon today, across the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, church bells ringing out with renewed calls for ICE to get out of their communities. Anti-immigration enforcement protests planned all across the country this weekend. Today in Minneapolis, demonstrators targeting Target.
We are here inside one of the many Targets in Minneapolis where dozens of protesters have decided to hold a sit-in, making their voices heard.
The retail giant headquartered here. Protesters urging the corporation to take a stand with them and against the immigration crackdown. Target states it does not have any agreements with immigration enforcement agencies. Today, a memo obtained by ABC News says ICE agents can now arrest someone for being in the U.S. illegally without a warrant if an officer feels he or she is likely to escape. But a judge in Texas today ordering the release of 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father from detention. Liam was pictured standing alone in the cold, swept up in an ICE raid in Minneapolis almost 2 weeks ago. A week ago today, federal border agents shot and killed Alex Preddy.
The FBI is leading the investigation.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem came under fire for the agency's response and the characterization of Preddy as a domestic terrorist. Today, Noem standing behind
Steve,
ICE
and
operations in
thank you, everybody, for being here
Minneapolis.
today. We're going to continue to try to work with the local law enforcement and the leadership in Minnesota to do that, to make that community safer.
And in Minnesota today, in honor of Alex Preddy, hundreds of cyclists braved sub-freezing temperatures in a memorial ride. Some 200 solidarity rides planned for cyclists around the country and around the world. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Minneapolis.
Ahead of tonight, Houston police tracked down a stolen Rolls Royce. How they say thieves managed to get their hands on the $400,000 luxury SUV. And another Houston hip-hop icon has passed away. We'll tell you about the legacy Michael 5000 Watts is leaving behind.